So, Avram, tell me about your mission.
My mission is to live under my vine and my fig without stress. That's the vision of personal comfort, personal uh, uh, empowerment, imagination, collaboration, friendship, love, sharing, inspiration. I don't want to limit it just to that. That's what I can think of right now. But give me a different mood and I'll tell you some other things. Let's not keep it legal. Let's just keep it open. That I want everything possible and good and wonderful in my life, in the life of as much as I can share it with that. And if I can fix a machinery where I can get it and other people can get it, and that we can share and maximize and optimize and leverage each other's, then I can get what I want and much more, and what I don't even know that I want. And I believe that that's the way that we should structure a machinery of state for ourselves in the future.
Do you think this idea of focusing on your wants is maybe a little selfish?
You know, they say work with what you've got. So if what we've got is our wants and our desires, and we all have them, and I don't think that one should build a society which denies or neutralizes or doesn't use it. And it's actually very much a Jewish idea, and that's why I take comfort in the Jewish ideas that we should celebrate what we have, our the good things. We should celebrate the material world. In fact, the mystical idea that the divinity comes into manifestation in the material world is something that very much suits this idea that this is where we will find the divine in our prayers, our personal prayers, within our personal circumstances. That is not prayers for vengeance or prayers for another person's failure. This is or these are prayers out of having much of everything, having excess, having our storerooms are filled, and now we want to really explore our minds and our personalities and our extended selves in imagination and the collaboration. So that really is, first of all, to prepare for an era of the mind, the will, and the imagination. And in no way is it selfish. You say, is it selfish? Well, I said in no way is it selfish. It is very much selfish. But the idea of the self in its broadest is really a community of minds. We may find that we are a great network, a cosmic or a quantum network, and in every way, I don't see that there is something to detract from it. I think there's a lot of those who would oppose and would seek that these powers are in the hands of few or in the governments have their own foreign interests. And I think that it is probably the best bet, the safest bet for the welfare of humanity, that all of these tools are divided in a selfish way, that everyone can achieve uh, their self autonomy and their will, and it's measured with the use of our combined data and knowledge as in a treasury which is guaranteed for ourselves within that shared treasury, and we can access it for our own welfare. So that's a structure of state that I'm proposing into the future.
And earlier, you mentioned this idea of it being a Jewish thing. And so, tell me, how does Judaism guide you on this mission of yours?
Wonderful, wonderful question. Because it could be a Hindu thing, it could be a Christian thing, an Islamic thing. It could be at every time all of these religions aspired to great ideals. Judaism is now seeking its greatest, its highest purpose, because we've really now, after great tragedies of our people, we've come to the state of our state, and we've come to what we have said will be part of our redemption, but we're deeply disappointed, and there is it's felt. because of the great aspirations that we had for a return to our own autonomy, but we aren't able to bring about satisfaction, the basic idea of the prophets, the satisfaction of the people, of the individual. And that is simply because of all mismanagement and also uh, a misguided political structures, following other people, following patterns, not innovating, not being inspired by the vision of our prophets. So we need to move forward with everything we have, with all our technology, in order to guarantee the liberation of the individual spirit. So in countless ways, Jewish philosophy and thinking and the biblical thinking lends itself to it. But leaving that aside, let's take the greatest ideas that we independently feel and want, and which can be maximalized for every individual. And we see that it very much fits what the biblical thinkers were saying. So I think it can be independently verified as something which is a great idea, but it also comes deeply from within Jewish roots. And because we live now in a Jewish country, and the idea of the great Jewish idea is to crack the greatest challenge of history, and that is fair, just, upright, enlightened living, and under the fig and the vine. So I think that we need to do it with the greatest instruments, with the greatest ideals, with the individual as the testing ground, and individual satisfaction as a testing ground for all government functionality.
Hmm. And do you consider yourself a prophet?
Do I consider myself a prophet? I consider it's a great question. I think that prophecy abounds in Israel. I think that prophecy is simply informed thinking, a philosophy, knowledge, understanding of things within circumstances, and morality within circumstances. Do I think? I think that there are so many prophets around. I feel inspired, but they say the testing of a prophet in the biblical litmus test of a prophet is his success. So is if he proves to be right. So I don't want to be presumed as a prophet. I think that would likely bring me into a religion or into a theological debate. Although I do call myself a theologian, that this is a religious thinking, but also brings in political and administrative thinking, because that's the safest place to be. It's not embarrassing to say that this is somewhat. It's not a theocratic idea, but it is inspired by religious thinking, and our religious thinking also involves the thinking of the prophets. So, no, I'm not saying I'm a prophet. I'm saying that I believe, I feel that this is the right way forward, and I invite other people to share. Let them be to share their prophecy. And prophecy should be about. I don't think that we should be afraid or embarrassed to say that inspiration has existed in our people, and it abounds even till today, and that we should use it and free this imaginative spirit and give it instruments, and but obviously guided with morality and only the best things, and guided by individual satisfaction.
Hmm. And then focusing in on yourself, how do you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered? I uh, I hope that the other people are going to come and do the job for me, and let me just enjoy a great life under my tree and fig, and let someone come and do this job. And but if they don't, then it's someone will do it. I'm prepared to say it, and and if no one else is going to do it, then I'll do it.
I think that's great.